So Mike Renner, CBS Sports, pushing the pile. What he saw from Quinshon Judkins against the Vikings.
Quinshon Judkins at running back, man, he looks like a true bell cow. Guy looks faster than he did in college. I think it's the biggest thing. Like, he looks like he got tuned up a little bit over the course of whatever the offseason, because he had an extra gear in this game, 110 yards on 23 carries, and he had a big one called back too for a holding penalty. I mean, it was a pretty obvious hold, but he could have had over 150 if that doesn't get flagged.
Yeah, and like the Quinshon Judkins just ran with so much oomph. Like, he ran with juice, and I think that matters so much for a Browns team that wants to be physical. They want to play in 12 personnel. I thought Harold Fannin Jr. had a nice day. David Njoku was making some sick plays.
So we've talked a little bit about this, Scott. You know, because they don't have anybody that can stretch the field, you're going to get a bunch of guys in the box. Do you go to Aiden Huntington, the defensive tackle, as a fullback? Do you add an extra offense? What do you do? Because obviously, until you stretch the field, you're not getting guys out of the box.
Yeah, I think it's hard to play, old-fashioned smash mouth, like on 1st and 10. You can do it on 3rd and 1, right, and go jumbo all you want and get 1 yard and squeeze through the cracks. I think it's hard to go 1st and 10, and you got Huntington in the backfield. First of all, the defense knows you're going to run it then, and you're taking a pass receiver, one of the 5 skill guys, out of the equation. I just don't know if you can commit to that. They played a bunch of 2 tight ends. They went 3 tight ends on that 3.5-minute drive where it was -1-0 carries for Judkins. They had 3 tight ends out there. They had Fannin in the backfield, at least one of those snaps as a fullback. So, the other option is you spread teams out, and they have to match up with nickel personnel, and you try to run it, or they usually match up. But the Browns don't have 3 receivers that they can really trust or scare defense. So they're in a tough spot. I think they're probably best off going with their 2 tight end sets and trying to run like they did yesterday, because they had success up until, they got stopped on a 3rd and 1, and then they get, those couple of plays on that drive that they really needed to sustain.
Were you surprised that Jerome Ford got carries late in that game, or it's tough because you can't really use Dylan Sampson in that. He's shown that that's not what he does well.
Yeah, I don't know how many Ford got super late in the game. I know he got the second down or the second quarter draw play inside the red zone, and people were complaining about that. First of all, I thought Jerome Ford played his best game of the season. There was some life there. He had he caught a screen pass, I want to say, and had a big gain. I thought he had a run for 8 or 9 yards. So I thought he played as well as he has all season. And I think what people miss is they have these personnel packages. So one of them is 3rd down, 2-minute drill, because you're not substituting. So that needs to be your group of guys. And it's usually 1 tight end, 3 receivers, and your running back. And Ford is a guy in that package. So if it happens to come up more often than not, then that's why you see a bunch of Jerome Ford in a situation, or whoever it used to be in that situation. They also, you can't play Judkins every snap. He's a rookie. Does he know all the 2-minute drill stuff that you need to know? How is he in pass protection, which Jerome Ford had a really good blitz pickup yesterday? Like, those are elements to it, and Judkins still carried the ball a bunch. So I think of all the things that people are nitpicking, I think the Jerome Ford factor should not be among them.
And you make a really valid point about the personnel package. He's in that because he can pick up the blitz with the 3 wides.